Hey guys, it's Ross going on the Space Couch. Today I'm going to talk about biohacking. Now, biohacking or wetware hacking, that's where biology is fused with the ethics and the mentality of hacking, specifically computer hacking. For example, you could design and install your own body enhancements via DNA adjustments or physical implants, and that process is known as grinding, and the people who engage in that are called grinders. Also, you could have DIY gene sequencing and splicing in your garage at home, and that's the DIY biology movement. You're hacking yourself through meds, implants, etc. to improve yourself. Now, biohackers believe that it's possible and indeed desirable to alter humans to hopefully eventually give rise to post-humans. The biopunk movement wants open source access to genetic information, but with any movement that has punk in its title, it's pretty anarchic, as you'd expect with DIY science. So cyborgs would be one expression of this movement, Some gamers have even already started getting implants to improve their experience and gaming techniques, i.e. Magnetic implants in their fingertips, and no doubt one day they'll have a jack directly into their cortex like you see in the Matrix movies. Now, the grinder movement, they particularly believe in this body enhancement modification with implants, as well as DIY biology. Imagine being your own Wi-Fi hotspot, for instance, or downloading info from your Wi-Fi implants directly into your cortex. Now, in DIY biology, you might decide to change, say, your eye colour or alter some other aspect of yourself permanently or temporarily via a DNA patch, for instance. Now, in the film Scooby-Doo 2, of all things, there's a sequence kind of towards the end where Shaggy and Scooby are messing around with various potions and stuff, and they go through all sorts of changes. He turns into a woman, the dog turns into Einstein, and start mixing all these things up. That's essentially DNA hacking, All those athletes who take performing-enhancing drugs, they're hacking their own biology, and you do see the results of that when it goes right or when it goes wrong in, say, some of those steroid freaks that you see in some of those competitions. Obviously, in fiction, this is one of the major tropes of sci-fi and of horror. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Island of Dr. Moreau, they would be two of the very earliest examples. Possibly also Frankenstein, if you assume that the logical endpoint of Victor Frankenstein's research would be to apply those techniques to himself to extend his own life. And obviously in some of the numerous sequels of Being to Frankenstein, that does indeed play out. The Cybermen and Doctor Who, obviously, their endless upgrades, that would be the logical end point, I suppose, of becoming a cyborg. What else? The Cylons in both the original and the rebooted Battlestar Galactica. In original Galactica, the Cylons were originally a lizard species who became cyborgs and then machines. In New Galactica, obviously it's like the resurrection technology is probably the ultimate example of the merging of man and machine, hardware and wetware, where the machines are actually biological, not mechanical, and they can upload and download their consciousness into new bodies. Other examples, I guess, William Gibson's novels, like say Neuromancer, that sort of thing. Peter F. Hamilton's books, I can never remember if it's the Confederation or the Commonwealth series, the ones with Paul Mayo in them, where everybody's got implants in their brains that can do just about anything. Like it will save your memory at the point that you die or that you suffer body loss, and those memories are then downloaded into your new body. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Also, in that series, some of those implants are weapons, very fearsome weapons as well. So you can essentially turn yourself into a weapon. That would very much fit in with all of this sort of biohacking and DNA science. Where else? Yeah, the Mirakuru drug in the Arrow TV show, that's biohacking. I suppose probably also Ra's al Ghul's Lazarus Pit that heals people and brings them back to life, though possibly there's an element of mysticism in that one. Let's see, Bioshock series, you know how they use like plasmids in that universe to create superhumans and genetic mutations. Iron Man, that would be another one, obviously. That's a really good example of someone having, say, cyber upgrades, but without having to have any actual surgery. Obviously, the Terminator series, you know, with the skin-covered machines and the cyborgs, all that sort of thing. Many, many other examples. It crops up everywhere. Like I said earlier, Scooby-Doo 2, for instance. Who would have thought that? So, biohacking, it's definitely a growing movement. I thought it's still mostly an underground one. I would have thought most people probably haven't heard of it, but you know, it's going to become a lot more widespread in the decades to come. Currently, still very much in that early anarchic era, kind of like the early Wild West days of the internet, I suppose. So who knows what's going to happen once the regulators and the governments realise what's happening and where the state of the tech will be by then. You know, once it starts producing, say, businesses and household names, you know, like the Facebook, Google type of process, that's when it'll have gone mainstream. I mean, after all, how much demand do you think there is for life extension technology once that technology has been matured? I would have thought probably pretty much near universal. Anyway, guys, that's it for me this time. I thought you'd enjoy this quick roundup of the biohacking movement. Where will that lead, I wonder? Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or a suggestion for an upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed. And this topic was, in fact, suggested by one of my viewers, which I hope you enjoyed. Or like this video.